Yo, what is up, guys? It's Pedro here. Today, I'm going to be giving you guys remaining free agents the Redskins should target and also some potential off-season trades. If you guys are new, subscribe for Redskins and NFL content. So, let's get right into it. As you guys know, we have a few more roster spots, so we still have some potential signings we could make, and I'm going to be going over some trades because a few of you guys have asked for that. So, let's get started with free agency. So, as you guys all know, Cody Latimer might get released because of his allegations. We'll see what happens with that. Some new information came out this weekend that might make him innocent. But if we end up having to cut him, I'll give you guys a couple receivers that we could target to replace Cody Latimer. One is a veteran, and I think if we target a receiver in free agency, it's gonna be a veteran because that's what Ron Rivera likes, and Cody Latimer was a veteran. So I think someone who would be a decent option. He is in the slot, and we have a couple slot receivers, but I still would think it's a decent option. Taylor Gabriel played for the Bears last year, had about 350 yards, but that was with Mitch Trubisky, who didn't really play good at all last year. Mitch Trubisky had a better year in 2018, and that's why he had a really good year that year. 688 yards, 2 touchdowns, just had a great year, and he had a decent year last year, 350 yards and 4 touchdowns. He could provide some depth at the wide receiver position. I do not think it would be a bad pick. And yeah, we're going to go over one more receiver and then a few cornerbacks, tight ends, and offensive linemen before we get into the big offseason trades that you guys were asking about that might involve a big name player. So let's go to the next player, Chris Hogan. I don't like Chris Hogan that much, but Ron Rivera likes players that used to play under him, and Chris Hogan played for him last year. Really didn't play that good, but was injured. Really only played a couple games healthy. Had 8 catches for 67 yards. But you see what he did in New England. Played really good from 2014 to 2018. Not really good, but played good. I know that's with Tom Brady, with an elite quarterback, but I think he would provide a decent. He would be, like I said, good depth, and he's a good veteran who has a Super Bowl championship experience. So I think he would be good. He can play outside and slot. Pretty old, 32, but still can play, I think. And he played under Ron Rivera last year, so I think that's an option. Next is Delanie Walker for tight end. I doubt we're going to go after anyone else in free agency for tight end, but we were interested in Delanie Walker earlier in free agency. So if something comes up in training camp where we get players hurt, like at tight end, then Delanie Walker might be an option. Hasn't played great the last couple years, but because of injuries. But if you look at any from 2000 and really 13 to 2018, he had about 500 yards or more every year. So he is a very good tight end, one of the best in the 2000s. And yeah, he really had no injury history before 2018. Before then, he was really healthy from 2007 to 2017. Made the Pro Bowl 3 years in a row before his injuries really started to pile up in 2018 and 2019. And I think he might even be the best tight end on our roster, even with barely playing any games. You saw last year 215 yards in really only like 5-6 games because he was playing hurt. I think he would be a great addition to the team, but obviously not a long-term solution because he is old. He is, and he really didn't play that good last year. So, but if he's healthy, I think he can get 400 to 650 yards. So let me know what you guys think about him. So we're going to go one more offensive player and then a few defensive players and a couple new ones that I haven't mentioned before. So offensive line, Larry Warford would be great. I highly, highly doubt we go after him just because Ron Rivera, or not necessarily Ron Rivera, but the Redskins haven't really wanted to spend much money in free agency this offseason. So, and Larry Warford isn't actually commanding that much money for a Pro Bowl guard. He wants around $7 to $8 million, which has been reported, and it's crazy the Redskins wouldn't go after him because they offered Eric Flowers about $8 million per year, and Eric Flowers is not a Pro Bowl guard. At least not now. Larry Warford is a 3-year Pro Bowler, and all those three Pro Bowl appearances have been from 2017 to 2019. So I think he would be a great addition to the team. Yes, he does play right guard, but I think Sheriff for him could switch over, and I think it would be a great addition to the team. Yeah, you look at what he's done in his career, uh, and he's played solid almost every year. Really never has had any injury history. Started every single game he played in his career. So I just think it would be a great home run signing, and I think even though it is somewhat expensive, $7 to $8 million a year, we have the cap space. And he isn't that old. 28 years old is still pretty young. I think this would be a home run signing, like I said. But again, I highly doubt it because we haven't spent much money in free agency, and I really doubt that that's going to change. Besides the Kendall Fuller signing, we only had like one signing that was like $5 million or more, and that was Sean Davis. So I doubt it happens, but maybe if no one else is going for him, and we can get him for $4 or $5 million, I think it would be great. Next is Darqueze Dennard. I've talked about him in my previous videos, so I'm not going to be talking about him too much, but he's a cornerback that can really play anywhere. Played okay last year, really was plagued with injuries, but if you look at his advanced stats, when targeted last year, allowed a 48.6 completion percentage, which is very good by Dennard. That's a very bad percentage by if your quarterback's throwing 48%, and only allowed one touchdown and 74.5 passer rating against him, which is also really good. If he can stay healthy, I think he's not a really good corner, but he's a solid to above average starter, which is better than what we have right now in Moreau, Darby, and Moreland. I think Darby could end up being good if he stays healthy, but again, that is a big if. Uh, and we'll see about Moreau. Last year, didn't do too much in Cincinnati. Played 9 games, started five of them, had um, 5 pass deflections, nothing too crazy, but has had a lot of forced fumbles in his career. So I think he'd be decent tackler as well. So not going to talk about him too much because I already talked about him in all of my videos. Next is Ross Cockrell. Ross Cockrell played for the Carolina Panthers last year, so again, bringing some familiarity to their team would be good. And he played really good last year, or at least played good last year. You see, he played 14 games, 11 starts, 2 interceptions, returned for 70 yards, 8 pass deflections, 60 tackles. So not bad at all. And if you look at his advanced stats, really wasn't that bad. 55% completion percentage is also very good by Ross Cockrell, and then same with the passer rating. So he played good last year. His tackling is not the best though, which is not a good thing. But he's 6 foot, 190 pounds, and is still young, 28 years old, but also a veteran. Has played on 4 different teams. If he went to the Redskins, it would be 5 different teams. So he has a lot of experience, and he played under Ron Rivera, so he knows what to expect, and he's going to help the guys around him adapt. So another guy that's going to know what to expect is Eric Reed for the Panthers. Played under Ron Rivera the last couple years. Did not have a good year last year at all. Started all of his games. 6 pass deflections, 1 forced fumble, no interceptions, but did not have a good year if you look at his advanced stats. Really was an off year. If you look at it, 77 completion percentage when throwing to him, 149 passer rating. That's atrocious. He allowed 8 touchdowns last year, but that Panthers defense was not that good. I think, I don't know. It would be it wouldn't be a bad signing in my opinion, because if you look at his year in 2018, it was a lot better than this past year, but it would still be a little risky. But he knows what to expect and will bring the culture that Ron Rivera wants to him. So next cornerback, Dre Kirkpatrick, played for the Bengals last year, so another Cincinnati Bengal, but did have injury problems. But really before then, didn't have much injury issues. If you look at his from 2013 to 2018, played in 14 games or more, except for in 2018 when he played in 13. If you look at his advanced stats, last year played only 6 games, allowed a 63% completion percentage, that's okay. It's not great, and then 122.5 pass rating. But if you look at the year before when he was healthy, 50% completion percentage, 82.2 passer rating. So played a lot better that year. I think he's not a great tackler, but I think he would be a good addition. Like I said, our cornerbacking core is not very good. So anyone who has a veteran experience and is decent would help us out a lot. So now we're gonna go on to some potential trades. You guys asked for it, so I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys a couple names that could get dealt this offseason. I doubt we're going to make any big trades this offseason, but I think there's been rumors floating around about Kerrigan. He's a name that if a deal isn't done by, let's say, or a restructure or extension isn't done by the trade deadline next year or this coming year, he could end up getting traded. I doubt it. I think Dan Snyder really likes him and wants him to be a Redskin for life, but that is a potential trade that could happen. I still doubt it, but that's a guy that I would keep your eye out for. Running backs, just running backs in general. We got five starting caliber running backs in this. Even, yeah, 5 or 6. You got Antonio Gibson, Darius Geis, Bryce Love, Adrian Peterson, J.D. McKissick, and Peyton Barber. If you take out J.D. McKissick, the rest of those guys could be potential trade pieces that, like, or not Gibson, but all those guys you could probably flip for a 7th or 6th round pick. So if they have their set amount of guys, like their 3 guys they think will make the roster or contribute, then the other guy that isn't that as good as a 3 or as good of a fit for them, they might try to flip for a 6th round pick, whether that be Bryce Love or someone else. I still don't think it'll be Bryce Love. If they can get anything for Peyton Barber, that could be a potential deal, but still be doubtful in my opinion. And then you got a couple players on the defense I would keep my eye out on. Josh Harvey Clemens really hasn't produced much, but it has really good potential and is a hybrid player. I still don't think it's going to happen, but keep your eye out on him and Tim Settle, because Tim Settle is very, very good. Just doesn't get enough playing time because he's on one of the best D-lines in football. So if teams are offering a 5th round pick for him, then the Redskins might consider doing it. But again, really don't see any trades going down. I just made those. I came up with those names because you guys were asking for it. But again, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please smash the like button. Streaming on Ed Oliver's channel tonight. Peace.